Nanadi Usman and Senator Darlington Wokocha has emerged as National Chairperson and National Secretary of the Labour Party Interim National Working Committee. But at that next meeting held in Abuja today, Governor of Abia says that apologize or else you find your way out of the party to Abure and the rest. Tonight our attention will be on the promises made and the issues around Nigeria's automotive industry. We'll be speaking to an entrepreneur from the lens of those who are investing in the country. What are they feeling right now? Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I am Sean Wakimaloye here in Abuja. We put our fingers into the issues troubling the Labour Party. As a major opposition political party in Nigeria, there's been a lot of agitation from the other side of the Alex Otti and Nanadi Usman group of the party, and the Abure group of the party are already crying foul and saying that whatever has happened today in Abuja is illegal. But we'll be hearing how and balancing all those conversations. One thing that is of paramount importance tonight for us is the economy of this country. And the world is looking at alternative to fossil fuels. And we're looking at the electric vehicle, the automotive industry, manufacturing in Nigeria. If we need to jolt this economy back to life, the manufacturing industry needs to work. But before we get into all of this conversation, let's tell you that President Bola Tinubu today has visited Kano State to pay a condolence visit to the family of the late businessman Aminu Dantata, who died last month. The plane carrying President Tinubu taxied into the Aminu Kano International Airport at about 3 p.m. today and was received by an entourage, including officials of the Kano State Governor, Abba Yusuf, and some other government officials. All right, let's serve you with some of your political roundup stories, and we'll begin the conversation afterwards.
The Social Democratic Party Disciplinary Committee to probe into criminal offences, conspiracy and general misconduct leveled against the national chairman of the party, Mr. Shehu Gabam, has submitted its report. Addressing the news conference in Abuja, the chairman of the committee, Mr. Liman Abubakar, says only the suspended national auditor honoured the invitation.
We want to present ourselves as a political party that can sponsor candidates who are expected to be leaders at both the executive and the legislature. I think the political party need to be apt and doing.
Former presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Mr. Dumebika Chiku, has dismissed ongoing attempts by political figures led by former Senate President David Mark to assume control of the party, describing them as fraudulent and illegitimate. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Mr. Kachukwu notes that the ADC remains a platform for fresh ideas and younger leadership, and not a political retirement home for failed elites. Mr. Kachukwu also accused the coalition of offering 20 million naira to state chairpersons of the party to vacate their positions.
It's been told that every member of our party, no matter how poor you people have made them, have a say in the ADC. This fake coalition is staging events in different parts of the country where they pay poor Nigerians to say they are decamping from other parties to the ADC. This is the typical strategy of these old politicians.
The National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Mr. Felix Morka, is charging spokespersons of the party at the zonal and state levels to be consistent in amplifying the activities and reforms of President Tinubu's administration. Speaking at a capacity building seminar for APC zonal and state publicity secretaries in Abuja, Mr. Morka says he recognized that the party spokespersons bear a daunting task, particularly at a time when expectations of the present administration are high amidst heightened political and public consciousness. A civil society organization, Center for Youth Participation, Dialogue and Policy Advocacy in Africa, is calling for concerted efforts by African leaders to better enhance the continent's evolving democracy. The executive director of the center, Mr. Chris Iyama, who was addressing a news conference ahead of the International Conference on Africa's Democracy, says through accountability and transparency, African leaders can ensure that the dividends of democracy get to their people.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's go straight into, first and foremost, the crisis-ridden Labour Party. So today, we saw the Nenade Usman and Alex Otti-led Labour Party holding what they call a statutory National Executive Committee meeting in Abuja, where at the end of that meeting, they have now decided that to elect what they call the Interim National Working Committee, where we saw Senator Nenade Usman emerging as the national chairperson and Senator Darlington Wokocha emerging as a national secretary. At that meeting, it's been said that interim working committee will steer the affairs of the party onto such a time when the convention of the party is held and statutory offices and position are being election into those positions are being conducted. Let me allow you to listen first and foremost to the decision as read by Senator Wokocha.
The Interim National Working Committee of the Labour Party under the leadership of Senator Nenade E. Usman as the Interim National Chairman and Senator Darlington Wokocha as the Interim National Secretary, among other persons. 2. Approval of the schedule for the party congresses and national convention. The NEC approved the detailed schedule for the conduct of what congresses, local government area congresses, state congresses, zonal congresses, and the national convention of the Labour Party. The National Secretariat is mandated to publish the guidelines and timelines to ensure transparent and democratic elections at all levels within 3 months. The NEC reaffirmed its commitment to internal democracy, rule of law, and the supremacy of Labour Party constitution. It warned against any parallel structure or activities inconsistent with these resolutions.
All right, that is Senator Wokocha. But we also had Governor Alex Otti, one of those persons. He said categorically that there is a need for an apology from the Julius Abure and any other person who had worked against the party. Well, let me allow you to listen to him.
The reason we are here is to ensure that our party is preserved. And whatever it costs, we must preserve our party. If the likes of Pascal Bafia and most other comrades made sacrifices to put this together, it would be very sad. It would be shameful if we cannot manage what was handed over to us. And I would like us to humble ourselves and recognize that we cannot be bigger than the party. That you've set up a party, you've contributed to setting up the party will be bigger than you.
That's Governor Otti. But let's take the conversation forward. As soon as that was happening, there are a lot of people who were not happy. Those who were not in the room and will say they're also a member of the Labour Party. You ask yourself, did you see Abure there? Did you see Mr. Apapa there? These are people who are saying that they are members of the Labour Party, but they are not there. Let me speak with one of them. I'm being joined by Kennedy Haunotu, who is the national youth leader of the Labour Party, belonging to the Abure side of the divide in the Labour Party. Thank you so much, Comrade Haunotu, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, the champion of the press. I agree to.
Thank you so much. Give us another. You were not there. You didn't get the invitation.
I can't be there. You know why? This is the 4th time they are convening. And I mean, for a governor to be convening a meeting 1 year down the line, he has not achieved anything. What does that tell you? One thing that I know, that people that produce law, may God bless them. If not for law, people can just walk into this Channels TV and take over Channels TV. But there is law. And any meeting that is convened without members of NEC present, no state chairman there, of course, you can't find any, is null and void ab initio. And I repeat, any meeting conveyed, be it by a president or by a governor of Nigeria, that you don't have, that is not in line with Labour Party constitution and the Electoral Act, is null and void ab initio.
So now, you are of Abure side of the divide.
I am national leader of Labour Party in Nigeria. There is no two Labour Party.
But the Supreme Court seems to, the decision of the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court judgment is very clear that no court in Nigeria has the right to wade into political party leadership issues. Wade into political party leadership issues. That parties should go back into their house and resolve themselves and organize themselves, that they shouldn't be disturbing the court with their matter. It's very clear. People sometimes make reference to a statement, an obiter, made by the judge, which is not binding in law. That is a general advice to all the political parties in Nigeria, that political office holders should be humble enough when their tenure expires, they should leave office. Political leaders. It didn't say Abure. And again, there is a convention legitimately done by the party. No matter how you may feel it's imperfect, legally, constitutionally, is 150% binding. Is set aside by courts.
So let me ask you. So today, the elected lawmakers and members of your party were there. Governors, this is a Peter Obi side of the divide of the party, who was the presidential candidate of your party. You look at it, the NLC, which also has a stake in the Labour Party, was represented by the president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero. But you and your friends and the colleagues in the Abure side of the divide, you are on your own. Don't you think something is wrong?
If you say that all the National Assembly members are there, is wrong, because we've seen the video. Even the person they are purportedly calling the chairman of the party, Nenade, who was never a member of the Labour Party, was not there present. As important as a NEC meeting can be.
Why would you say Nenade Usman?
She was clearly not there. Even when
you said that she's not a member of the party, but she was part of the presidential campaign.
Look, when Mr. Peter Obi joined the party, a whole lot of support groups came to the party with him. That does not make, there are obedient that are not members of the Labour Party. And they say it, that they are not members of the Labour Party, that they are belonging to PDP, they belong to APC, but they want to deliver people.
Why does it look like some of you want to destroy Labour Party? That is the allegation that they are making.
No. And I don't want you to talk.
No, that's the allegation that they're making.
I don't want you to listen
that there are some of you who are bent on destroying the Labour Party. Why does this seem
This
so?
is not the first time something like this is happening. If you can remember, Soludo is a governor in this country today. There was a time that a problem emerged in the party. What did Soludo do? He stood with the party. He stood with the party that gave him tickets. Till the end, until Supreme Court judgment still gave this similar judgment, Soludo stood with the party. But how come that a governor elected under the platform of the party that should have been an umbrella covering everybody took side and is now the one chairing NEC meeting? Can he chair the State Executive Council meeting in Abia and come and chair National Executive Council meeting of Labour Party? Is wrong. And no matter how big some of them are, what is wrong is wrong.
What are you going to do?
We are not trying to destroy the Labour Party.
Have you, on the Abure side, have you met over this? Have you seen what is happening? What is your official reaction?
Met. Ale Soti is serving suspension in the party today. Why?
You suspended a sitting governor?
A sitting governor conducted a local government election using a Zeni Labour Party. You saw what happened in Lagos over the weekend. A governor must work hard to make sure he populates his party. If Ale Soti believed in what he did on 4th of September in Umuahia, that kangaroo stakeholders meeting, if he believed in it, why didn't you field candidates under Nenade-led caretaker committee. Since he believed that he was doing the right thing, why didn't he field candidate? Anambra came. I heard him when he said they are not supporting the Anambra candidate. They never supported. In fact, then I did say it on national TV that they have written INEC to submit their own candidates. But INEC have recognized our own candidate, Moralo.
Yeah, who is as far as INEC is concerned, who is on the portal?
Barrister Julius Aburu, of course. And INEC cannot remove him from there. Because INEC must submit to law. They are not above the law. And no matter how they play with the big and mighty, they must follow the Electoral Act, they must obey the Labour Party Constitution. INEC does not have the right to choose leadership for the party.
Do you know that a lot of Nigerians are not happy with the way opposition is being run in this country?
So it's unfortunate, but that is because we had crop of people that joined the party that still have an elite mentality. They believe that the Labour Party must be hijacked by them. I kept saying this. If His Excellency Mr. Alex Oti meant well, he's a governor from Abia State. The person, the purported secretary of that caretaker committee is from his own local government in Abia State. Does it mean there's nobody from Ebonyi? Does it mean there's nobody from Enugu? Does it mean there's nobody from Imo State? But how come he believed that they want to take over the party, make it their own, which is the same problem that is happening in PDP. PDP allowed themselves to be played into the hand of one man.
What's the way forward for
the way forward is that the high and mighty must be humble enough to come into the room, to come into the Labour Party and sit down on a table and even say what they want. Because as for this point, we don't know what they want.
What is Abure going to do? You guys on the Abure side, what are you doing?
We've been doing our work.
If you think that this is illegal, what are you doing about it?
Our press statement is everywhere today, and we've been doing our work. I'm here to say that what they did is totally illegal and unacceptable by law. Let them show the portion of the Labour Party Constitution or the portion of the Electoral Act that said that Labour Party will have interim National Working Committee. There is none. They have called it National Transition Committee. It failed. They called it National Caretaker Committee. It failed. This is the third time they are coming with an acronym, Interim National Working Committee. It is nowhere found in this document that I'm holding.
All right. Honorable Kennedy is a national youth leader of the Labour Party belonging to the Abure side of the divide in the party. Thanks so much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Shehu. Keep doing your work.
Thank you so much. We'll take a break, everyone. But when we come back, we'll hear from Senator Nwokocha what happened today and the way forward for the party. Don't forget tonight, our attention will be also on the automotive industry. We'll be hearing it from an entrepreneur. Mr. Gbenga Falaye will be joining us later on the program. Stick around with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Your family, no matter the condition, day or night, it's a minor pep. Not yourself, I know when not take over daddy, mommy, auntie, and uncle. It's a minor pep. No matter who you are, a minor pep, take over 10.
Amino Pep Fort contains 10 essential amino acids, multivitamins, minerals enriched with zinc.
No matter who you are, Amino Pep, take over 10.
Amino Pep Fort from Seagrin Pharmaceuticals Limited.
Protects you and your family.
The Duchess International Hospital opened its doors in October 2021. The mission of the hospital is to reverse medical tourism. We take particular care here at the Duchess to bring together a combination of the brightest and the best locally, as well as Nigerians in the diaspora who are interested in returning to do very good work for the benefit of our patients here in this country.
The good thing is that we have all international expertise here, all international facilities here, international people working here. Everything is coming together in a space which was considered not great in terms of the availability of healthcare.
Access Bank, of course, has been able to provide us with a robust range of products and services that has enabled us to deliver that standard and quality of healthcare that is integral to our mission as an organization.
Every vibration on my phone opens the door to something different. But no matter what the day holds, I always show up ready. As an award-winning actress, each opportunity is more than just playing any role. It's a chance to share ideas and stories that resonate. Stories that reflect my journey, passion, and authentic self.
So, to deliver excellence, I go all out just for that perfect balance. Allowing my confidence to shine through in all I do motivates me to keep pushing my creative boundaries. Thankfully, Cosmo does it for me. The Cosmo range of skin, hair, and body care products caters to my everyday needs. With its nourishing ingredients and gentle formulations, Cosmo not only restores my natural radiance, it refreshes me for whatever comes next. Cosmo, for the love of beauty. Marketed and distributed by GVS Cosmetics.
I'm thinking of also running for class president, Captain Excellent.
But I thought Nkechi was already running and she's your friend. Why not support her?
Well, she's a girl. The boys won't vote for her, and they will bully the other girls if they try to make her win.
Ahmed, why do you think that way? Just because she's a girl doesn't mean she's any less qualified. We need to treat everyone equally.
But Captain Excellent, it's just how it is. Girls usually don't win this kind of election.
That's exactly why we need to take action. Quality means treating every person fairly without discrimination.
You're right, Captain Excellent. One small action a day can make a big difference for life.
Supporting someone based on their merits rather than their gender, friendship, or background can help us build a better society.
Nkechi is actually the best candidate for the job. I will support her.
Much, everyone. Let's hear now from the other side of the divide. I'm now being joined by the new interim national secretary of the Labour Party, Senator Darlington Nwokocha. Thanks so much indeed, Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean.
It's good to see you again. I'm worried, though, and the reason is because there are those who believe that whatever you are doing on this side of the divide, there's no basis of it in law. That you do not have any legal basis for, first and foremost, conducting that NEC meeting. Who chaired it? What power does it possess to chair that meeting? On what basis in law do you have to be an interim officer of the party?
Well, thank you, Sean, and good evening, Nigerians. Like you said, there's something they call legitimacy. And when you talk about legitimacy, you have to look at the process, the rope that must have taken you to that place. One, when in the absence of National Working Committee, I don't want to go back to
history. A lot of Nigerians are familiar with that
because court, because the Supreme Court is the final court of this ground, of this land, and we must respect it. And when the name of Abre was mentioned, that is not qualified to be part of the National Working Committee, they sacked the entire National Working Committee through the pronouncement of that court. That court was appealed by Nenadi and myself. And INEC joined us during the first appeal before the Supreme Court. Why I'm giving you this summary for you to know where
you're coming from before you get here.
Yes. So now, when the Supreme Court, which is the final court, the highest court, the hierarchy, the highest, the peak, said, no, personally, they mentioned his name, you are not supposed to be here. You are disqualified because your tenure has expired. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think there's any other person that should, because at the first instance, when the court, at the magistrate court, and at the Federal High Court and the Supreme Court said, oh, you're qualified, we didn't disturb. We are very constitutional.
But in the Supreme Court, Senator, I've read that judgment. Yes. There isn't any place specifically in the ratio of the judgment that says Abure has been disqualified.
No, when the court now says that the appellant, that your position is meritorious, it succeeds. What do you mean by that? What do you mean that whatever thing we presented?
What were your prayers, though?
What were our prayers?
Because, no.
Our prayers then. Our prayers were what? He was not qualified because his tenure had expired.
You know that the story originated from the Ondo saga.
No, I don't want you to go all that.
Because it has a linkage.
When you start all the interventions, we'll start listing all the interventions that INEC did. You know that the INEC is the regulator. If the regulator comes here now and said, oh, you are qualified or you are not qualified, do not come attend my meetings. Don't attend.
But are you worried that INEC is recognizing Abure?
No,
Abure's name is still on the portal of INEC.
Let me tell you, Shehu, that you place your picture here right now does not make you the owner of this place.
But INEC, as a regulator of all political parties,
that is what I'm saying.
Has Abure's name as the national chairman of the party.
Then has they ever allowed him to attend any meeting? What matters most, has he been attending meetings? No, they've never allowed him. He has tried all procedures for him to go into the meeting. They've never allowed him. That you placed your picture in this house does not make you that you're the owner of the place. You don't have any recognition.
Are you also worried that if you think that INEC or Abure is not the leader or the chairman of the party, what about the fact that the conduct of governorship primaries in Anambra as conducted by Abure Group is being recognized by INEC?
No, let me tell you, that is why I wanted to give you the synopsis of what happened. You see, the process before the final court judgment, before then, Abure had started that process. And you know, while the first court of first instance and second instance, while the processes were going on, we never interjected, we never got disturbed. We allowed the processes until it got to the Supreme Court that now gave their verdict. Now, because before that judgment, they had started the process, say, okay, it doesn't matter. Even if the process has started, they gave...
No, but you have done a caretaker committee.
Yes.
In the process of the...
Of course.
What's it
while
called?
we were, that was what gave us the locus to now appeal the
so
judgment.
You imagine that the Supreme Court judgment is in your favor?
Of course.
Abure Group says it is in their favor.
Because the Supreme Court, after saying that Abure, the leaders of parties, should respect at any point in time their tenure has expired and humbly give way.
So let's go to today's event.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's still debated in your party what Supreme Court says. And I'm wondering if Supreme Court cannot settle this matter, who will? I'm not sure God will come down to settle this matter for the Labour Party. But the big question here, who chaired today's NEC meeting?
Alex Oti.
As what?
He is a member of the NEC. You see, constitution differs.
Yeah.
There are peculiarities. The constitution of PDP and that of Labour Party is not the same thing. Now, in the Labour Party, just like when we talk about coalition, coalition, the Labour Party has its own coalition within itself. You have the NLC, you have the TUC, you have elected people. That is what our constitution stated. Now, when the Supreme Court refers back to the political party, it's an internal affair. Then after the first organ is National Convention. The second organ is the NEC. The third organ is NWC, right? Now, when the first organ, National Convention, we are yet to get there because today we have been mandated to start the processes, conducting the elections from ward to local government to state to National Convention so that we can now establish the National Convention, which is the first organ. The second organ is the NEC. So in the absence of National Working Committee, which is the administrative arm, now it is the NEC. Now in the party constitution, our Labour Party constitution, what makes up the NEC? The remaining members of this NEC, since the total sack of the National Working Committee, TUC represents, NLC represents, and any elected governor and the deputy.
What about National Assembly members?
No,
State Assembly
that is something. These are statutory members of National Convention. Just like what somebody said that the party issue should be resolved by political party leaders. The political party leaders today we have in Labour Party, the entire National Assembly members, both the Senate and the House of Representatives, are part of the Nenadi-led and Dalit Mokocha-led National Interim.
So why?
Yes.
Why is it that it wasn't Nanadi Usman who led the NEC? Why was it that it was Alex Oti?
Fine. It's a matter of nomenclature problem. You see, you have semantics. You can say this is white, and the way you pronounce it, somebody may not understand. For the fact that the party belongs to people that wants to accommodate everybody. Like you said, oh, well, how can't Supreme Court resolve? Supreme Court have given it's just for people to now understand the entire system and now respect
I'm wondering why would Governor Oti chair the meeting?
That is why I'm coming. Now,
where there's Nanadi Usman.
Because of...
And so Nanadi Usman was absent from this meeting today.
No, she's because of certain reasons, not because that she was she's not around. You know, she has some emergencies, so she traveled and she will be back soon. And everything, she's been signing all the necessary things before she traveled. You know, she just left and she's coming immediately before the end of the weekend, right? So now, the critical thing is, you should understand is in the absence of National Working Committee, which other organ takes supremacy? In the hierarchy of our constitution, after National Convention, the next organ is the NEC, where OT belongs. And because of nomenclature, when we say NCC, National, the first committee, which we had, they are not understanding
so
it.
So Labour was present.
Committee.
Was INEC notified of this meeting?
Of course, very well.
Was INEC there to...
Very well. No, the Constitution didn't say that INEC must attend, but notify them, inform them.
No, it's not even your Constitution, it's INEC guidelines.
Yes.
All of what is done by the parties are supposed to be monitored by INEC, because INEC is the regulator.
Is the regulator, but it's not that it's a must.
No, you have to... But
it's not
you have to notify.
Fine, it's a must that you must notify them, but not that they must attend. These are two different things.
Your convention, for example, it has to be monitored. It has to be
attended. Yeah. You see, in hierarchy of importance, the National Convention, which is the #1 organ, you cannot hold it without having the INEC there. But some other parties, like NEC meetings and whatever. I mean,
so it was resolved today to return both of you to office and the rest
in Interim National Caretaker Committee.
Why did you change it from caretaker?
Fine. Listen, now the National Working Committee is out. Interim is just a matter of an adjective to strengthen, to make people understand. Because when we are saying caretaker committee, no, it's not in our constitution. National Working Committee is in the constitution. An interim National Working Committee means that this is interim. We want to midwife the process that will now bring in the
so that was the reason why you called it interim.
That's just very, the agenda was only two.
Why are you not able to call Abure? Why are you not able to politically resolve this matter? No, why is it so difficult?
You cannot resolve a matter in Supreme Court. The Supreme Court had already resolved. How will you... Abure is just a former member...
If you think it has been legally resolved, but not politically resolved, because all of the issues as raised by Kennedy Ayonotu today, it still looks so much that the party is still in some quagmire.
Sheung, political resolution and legal resolution do not have the same strength. Legal resolution, you can now go to the court to find an answer. But political resolution, you can just resolve it within, which at times ADR could be involved.
So you don't care whatever Abure and the rest are saying?
No, they were our former members.
Oh, they are not members of the Labour Party any longer?
No, they're on suspension.
Have they been sacked?
They're on suspension.
But they say that they suspended Governor Oti for anti-party activity.
No.
Are you aware of that?
Governor Oti, if they suspend Governor Oti, that could be in their own room. But our own suspension, apart from being hinged by the structure itself, because we are legitimately placed right now through the Supreme Court, no matter how long it's going to take, because the regulator was part of this judgment, this appeal. Let them go and get any document to show that there was a time they were in court and the regulator, INEC, joined them in that suit. But we have a document, a very strong document, on oath.
Governor Oti is saying that they have to apologize if they want to remain in the party.
You know that Governor Oti is a very peaceful person. He's a very sound mind, a very responsible person. So for whatever that is worth, even if they come back and now say, oh, we are sorry, forgive us, we will forgive them. Are they not Nigerians?
You also say that Peter Obi and anyone who is participating in the ADC is free to do so. Is it not seen by your party's constitution as anti-party?
Well, Shehu, you see, you mentioned Peter Obi. I wouldn't have loved to mention him here because there's no reason for that. But even at that, P2B is an individual. Yes, we respect him because he was our flag bearer for 2023. Like everybody, just like what APC had before. When President Buhari was there, this president now was the leader of APC. Do you understand? So we give him that respect. So even if he decides to move around, that does not mean that he has joined ADC or whatever. So he's a mature person that should interact freely. You know, cross-pollination of ideas is allowed.
But is Labour Party ready to join the coalition?
Like I told you today, when you talk about coalition, already Labour Party has machinery of internal coalition. You have an NLC there. But you have TUC.
There's the ADC.
You have market women.
There's ADC.
You have churches.
Senator,
yes.
the ADC opposition coalition platform has been unveiled. Yes. Will Labour Party actively be participating in that?
The Labour Party has been unveiled already. So why do you want to join the two for now?
So you are not you are not emptying your party into the ADC?
How do you, so why wouldn't you ask any other, because I've been listening to your programs, why haven't you asked APC, why are you not joining a coalition? Why is APC not joining coalition? You would have asked that question.
The coalition wants
to Is it because they have president?
No. The coalition said they are fighting APC.
Well, so, I don't know about that, and I don't know the ring. They've not told me that.
But why did Governor Oti use ZLP to as an alternative platform for?
This is democracy.
For governorship. I mean, for local government.
This is democracy. If ZLP people don't say Governor Oti used ZLP, if there are so many parties and every individual that decide to run, it's not even a ZLP alone that won in Abia State. There are so many other parties that won, YPP and whatever. So if parties win the election, so you stop them because they are not Nigerians or they are not within the converse of Abia State. Are you strong?
Is your party getting stronger or weaker?
Extremely stronger. Extremely stronger. You know one thing, Sheila, I want you to understand this. The awareness politically in Nigeria now is very strong. People should not take it for granted. Maybe the same way it was happening in 19this and 2000, and that is the same thing now. Any person that takes it for granted is making a lot of mistakes. Let me tell you, people know the truth. That whatever that is happening, that the position or the judicial position or legal position have not been taken into consideration till now, they're still waiting there. Go and see what is happening across the states. Labour Party members are there, very strong. Very strong.
So you are pushing ahead, Abure joins or not. In fact, you said that they are suspended members of your party.
I wonder why you're mentioning Abure. He was our national chairman. He's still not as an expert. Does it mean that when, even in your organization here, you don't have time limit, you will be here forever, no retirement age? Once your tenure expires, forget about it.
So Abure is expired as far as you're concerned?
Of course. Of course. And moreover, you know, if you have some political accident and it becomes fatal, I mean, what do you do? That is why the Interim National Working Committee comes in, because there was a political accident, the tenure expired, there's no other thing to do than to bring an interim, because the party cannot operate in a vacuum.
Senator Darlington Wokocha,
yes,
Labour Party Interim National Secretary, thanks so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you, Sean.
Let's talk about the economy now. I will be looking at it from the automotive perspective. How do we catch up? Because we are playing catch up right now. The Chinas of this world, they are really ramping up efforts in looking at alternative forms of transportation like the electric vehicle. Let's speak tonight with an entrepreneur from the entrepreneur's perspective in Nigeria's economy, trade and commerce and investment in this country. I'm being joined tonight from our Lagos studio by the CEO of Saglev EV, Mr. Gbenga Falaye. Thank you so much, Mr. Falaye, for joining us tonight on the program.
Thank you, Sheon, for having me.
Being an entrepreneur in Nigeria and the ease of doing business, and in fact, the intentions on the capacity to want to invest in Nigeria, there are a lot of people who say sometimes it takes a strong-hearted person to want to think about investing in Nigeria. What is your experience as an entrepreneur in the manufacturing sector to say You want to take the bull by the horn and invest in this. How's the experience been for you?
Well, the experience has been enlightening, has been challenging, but it's obviously not impossible. So if it's impossible, then we will not be able to do it. So the ease of doing business can be tough, but you know, in business, there's also the saying, high risk, high reward. So that is still valid, but as an entrepreneur in Nigeria, you have to be strong, you have to be tough. You cannot look at, you cannot be pessimistic, and you can either choose to look at all the wrong or focus on the problems and ignore the solutions. In our own case, we just decide that we want to focus on the solutions, and that is how it has worked out for us. The problems are there, but the solutions are there. So if you focus on the problems, you'll be discouraged. It's a tough environment, and post-COVID, the economy has been in trouble. But again, everybody knows that Nigeria's economy is not going to remain poor forever. And I make the argument that there are positive signs in the economy. It's just a little bit longer before people start feeling it.
There are specific targets of this government in respect to economy and investment, and especially because of the need to now diversify and look at options, alternative to fossil fuels. First and foremost, what gave you the thinking? What did you saw? What are the figures? What are the indices that made you to take the move in wanting to invest in the manufacturing of vehicles in Nigeria?
Well, the truth is that, think about it, 220 million people in one of the fastest growing middle class in the world. It's only a matter of time. Somebody has to provide services for these 220 million people. It's just that simple. But more specifically, these 220 million people need food, they need clothing, but the other thing they need is they need to move around. And transportation is the lifeblood of any economy. So those facts remain, and when you go further, you realize that the situation we have found ourselves in Nigeria is such that transportation was not the true cost of transportation. What I mean is that when in Ghana you are paying 1,200 naira a liter, and in Nigeria you are paying 118 naira a liter. But it is due to the fact that the government is subsidizing that transportation in terms of the cost of petrol. You know, it's like we are becoming magicians, and we know that we are not magicians. So as a result, definitely we had to look at better options. Clearly, you know, people understand that that was not being put to the best use in terms of the fuel subsidy. So in realizing that, it was clear to me, being in the United States and being in business, being also a physician, it was clear that some things were not adding up. And when we dove down into look into that, we realized that the best way to compete with the cost with transportation was electricity and other alternative source. The truth is that the cost of power can drastically be reduced in the order of 80% using electric mobility. And if you just listen around the world, forget about what is happening in Nigeria, you realize that you know, most countries are already telling you by 2030, you're not going to be able to register an internal combustion car in their country. So it was obvious where the future was going. And unless Nigeria wants to pack its load and say we are not part of the world, clearly we are part of the future. And so it just added up for us that this is what was going to happen. It also meant that we had to roll up our sleeves and work. I've been in the country actively working, researching for 5 years. It took us 3 whole years to build an assembly plant that we thought we would build in 8 months. So the challenges are there, but those are the things we put 2 and 2 together and said, we got to go do this. So, and don't forget, yes.
Mr. Afalaye, you're one of the few companies who have now been able to swim through the sea of investing in Nigeria in the manufacturing industry. And perhaps I was very interested in knowing what you have gone through and perhaps what the experience has been like, and especially talking about electric vehicles, because I know China is big on that. And you see what Elon Musk is facing in the hands of Donald Trump. But if there is one thing that this government needs to fix in terms of ease of doing business, what could that be?
In terms of ease of doing business, it's just to make the policy clear and well known. I think the policies are there, but businessmen in Nigeria don't even understand what the policy is. So when you're coming from abroad, you can find yourself just lost in the sea. And then, in Nigeria, we need to focus on really, we talk about improving the ease of doing business, but you sometimes find yourself in a situation where you are filling forms, the bureaucracy is just killing business. So a lot of times you really can be frustrated by that. And I think that is just making the policy clear. And, Nigeria has gone through a very tough economic time. So for us, that is the main thing to me, is making the policy clear and making it as simple. I'll give you one quick example. In Cote d'Ivoire, we have been talking to them about assembling, because our platform is the entire subcontinent of Africa. It takes 1 week to get registered to do business. In Nigeria, it's not the case. And we are just needlessly suffering and not meeting up with business goals by doing this. On another hand, if you look at a simple situation of what does it take to finance a business, we are just lucky that we were able to self-finance and get to this point before we even talk about using debt. So if you found somebody that was raising funds, they would just not be able to do what we've been able to do. So again, ease of doing business and just making business really easy, make it easy for you to get to the financiers, make it easy. So those are the main things I would hone on. Also, working with just importing through our ports. If you ask anybody, our ports are the hardest ports to import anything through in either direction. Either you're importing or exporting, and that's just killing business. When you have product that is just sitting in the port that should be in the market producing economic returns for us, for our employers, but that product is sitting in the port, stuck in the port, and then you as the employer, the most useless amount of money you spend is demurrage. It just does nothing for you. So, those are the main challenges that we have faced.
Yeah, give me a moment, Mr. Afalaye. I need to go on another break. But when we come back, I'm fascinated by anything that moves on 4 wheels. So I'm an auto freak, if you may call it. So I like to know, for electric vehicles, why should Nigeria be looking in that direction? This government has made some promises. They said there will be the target is about 1 million vehicles plus several refilling stations. They're also talking about 25 million Nigerians to benefit. But what exactly would manufacturing of vehicles locally and electric vehicles do for Nigeria's economy, and perhaps our competitive leverage of advantage across the globe? We'll be right back after this break, everyone.
The global agricultural powerhouse supplying quality produce to international markets while ensuring every citizen has access to affordable nutrition.
Powered by Grassroots Movement for Tinubu GMT, Ondo State Chapter, GMT, in God we trust.
Continuation of zonal hearings and postponement of national public hearing on constitution review. The House of Representatives Committee on Constitution Review hereby informs the general public and all stakeholders that the Southern Geopolitical Zonal hearings will hold on the dates as earlier scheduled. The national public hearing scheduled in Abuja for 21st July 2025 has been postponed following the passing of former President Buhari. A new date will be announced shortly. The committee appreciates the continued engagement and contributions of Nigerians and urges the public to remain actively involved in the process. Signed, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu, Chairman, House Committee on Constitution Review. This message is supported by PLAC and FCDO.
My name is Austin Azuko Kocha, but you all call me JJ. That's because I was so unstoppable, they named me twice. During my days as a professional footballer, I played as an attacking midfielder. No one could stop me, not even malaria, when mosquito bites. Now you too can be unstoppable if you use Lonat against malaria.
Lonat, a combination of Artemether and lumefantrine. Lonat, be unstoppable.
Let's tell you that 151 senior police officers are now facing different disciplinary committee matters as we speak. And the fourth disciplinary committee says it's an essential internal structure responsible for reviewing and adjudicating cases of alleged breaches of professional conduct, misconduct, and ethical violations involving senior officers of the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police and above. The Inspector General of Police, Kade Egbejokun, has reaffirmed his administration's dedication to discipline and ethical conduct within the force, and emphasizing that Nigerian police force will not condone any form of indiscipline or misconduct. And these senior officers are currently facing this disciplinary committee on various pending disciplinary matters. Let's get back to Mr. Faleye, who is the CEO of Saglev EV. Mr. Faleye, why do we need an electric vehicle? There are those who will say, we don't even have electricity.
So, excellent. Sean, that is a very excellent common question that we get. The truth is that I want to look at this from the electric vehicle itself, from the ecosystem, and nationally. So the electric vehicle itself is just the easiest way to cut your cost of power by 80% plus. If you are a ride-hailing driver, it's going to cost you 80% less or 20% of what it has been costing you to move your car. Now, let's go further in that particular piece of equipment. Electric vehicles, you don't do an oil change. You don't go in for service as frequently, and every electric vehicle is likely to save you 50 to 60% on your cost of maintenance. And let me make the data more stark. If you buy an electric vehicle for 30 million naira, or you buy a Tokumbo car for 15 million, by the 15th month, you would have spent the same amount of money. But you are still in a worse situation if you are driving that ice, because you are underwater. You still have to deal with all the problems from ice. So those are some of the things with the actual electric vehicle. Let's talk about the ecosystem. It turns out that electric vehicles are very good for the economy. I don't always want to talk about the electric vehicle. I always want to talk about the ecosystem. That ecosystem includes charging, includes people who are going to install chargers, includes electric vehicle technicians, which means you are going to be talking about technology transfer. Now, if you remember, Pan and Volkswagen Automotive, part of why they died was that the component manufacturers they brought in died. So they died. The electric vehicle industry is a way to bring in component manufacturing back. The only way this can happen is to manufacture. we are really not gaining from the 700,000 cars that Nigeria needs a year. And if we say, well, we want even 10% of those to be electric vehicles, then we're only talking about 70,000. We are way below. That is opportunity for us to boost the economy. And, you know, it just turns out that the electric vehicle ecosystem tends to bring other people along. When I look at this, I think about jobs.
Yeah, Mr. Falaye, I'd like us to anchor quickly on this note, because this government has come out to say they are creating the presidential CNG initiative. There's between 300 to 500,000 vehicles, both new and old vehicles, that are being imported to Nigeria yearly. Out of that, about 80% of that are used vehicles. And the government says the alternative to petrol vehicle would have had a 2 billion naira reduced in petrol subsidies annually using alternatives like the electric vehicle. But the question here, for the average person watching, is the affordability of electric vehicle. And I'd like us to anchor on that note. Affordability, Mr. Falaye.
Yes, actually, interestingly, I'm not here to really market, but I want people to look around Nigeria today and ask people to publish their prices. The government, you know, I don't want to criticize the government because one has to be appreciative of the challenges that they have. Nigeria produces a lot of CNG or natural gas, so they want to use the gas. But at the same time, they have to understand the challenges involved in utilizing CNG distribution. So all I would say is that electric vehicles are shockingly more affordable than you think. The problem is you're paying more of it upfront. The results start coming within the first year and thereafter. So electric vehicles are affordable. I can assure you that we have electric vehicles that are more affordable, cheaper than most Tokumbo used ICE vehicles that are imported into the country. Yes, so they are affordable. I just encourage your viewers to go around and ask for the pricing.
All right. Thank you so much. Samuel Benga Falaye is the CEO of Saglev EV. Thank you so much indeed for some of the exciting stories of investment in Nigeria. Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight.
Thank you so much, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Man, thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Good night.
It's nice to have you join us. You're watching News Track and Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Top stories making the rounds at this time. We started from the courts, where Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has been urged to order the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, to enter a defense in the alleged terrorism charge brought against him by the federal government. The counsel to the prosecution, Adigboyega Awomolo, senior advocate of Nigeria, who made this request during the day's proceedings, also urged the court to reject the no-case submission made by the defense. He prayed the court to instead order him to explain why he engaged in terrorism activities that promoted violence and destruction, including the killing of not less than 170 security officials.